Hey everybody, this is Perch, and we've got some news about some upcoming titles, both from Marvel, from DC, and a couple bigger things coming to comics. So first off, curious if you're interested in this. Some bigger storylines developing. This is where we're rolling into the summer. So for those of you keeping track at home, we're starting to see solicitations for April. April tends to be the kind of prequel month to May. May tends to be when a lot of events and other things kick off. Over in DC land, we're getting the death of the Justice League, and we're getting this new crisis. Maybe we won't call it a crisis, and that's coming from Josh Howard. And we've heard enough about that. I've done a video about that. We'll talk at a later time when we know a little bit more. Over in Marvel, we're getting a couple different things, 3 events really. And the first is that Tony Stark is about to be married for the first time, or at least would like to be. So he is going to propose, not to Pepper Potts, but actually to Patsy Walker Hellcat. So this is all coming from writer Christopher Cantwell, who has been on Iron Man for 20 issues. And the question is, are people interested in this new development with Iron Man?
I don't want it. I never have.
Now, of course, Patsy Walker Hellcat has been a co-star of the title and really present constantly throughout the entire series. Since issue number 1, Cantwell had brought her in to be a grounded presence to Tony Stark. Some might say annoying partner who is often second-guessing him and making just kind of generally catty, no pun intended, comments. So at this point, she could bring more balance to his life, says Cantwell. And that's why Tony Stark is apparently going to propose. We don't know. Now, Hellcat has been married to Damian Hellstorm in the past, so I maybe we're going to get some awkward moments with Tony Stark with all of that. Is this actually going to go through, or is this going to be another Tom King style wedding? We will see. But Cantwell says Patsy Walker's best superpower in his mind has always been her ability to be human and sincere. And like Tony, she has had her share of demons in the past, literal or in her case. So fundamental transformations. Iron Man has recently gained cosmic sentience and is basically walking around the planet causing problems. In the latest issue, he gave this power to just a bunch of random people who proceeded to just kind of be annoying dicks is kind of how it's going. So anyway, this issue is going on sale May 11th. This is Iron Man number 2020, where we're going to get a proposal of sorts. And, I'm sure that will be fascinating to many people. I'm curious who's still reading this book. I feel like in this regard, I was the one who said, man, this Dan Slott run on Iron Man is truly awful, including the Iron Man 2020 event, which got interrupted by the pandemic, and for whatever reason, they decided to bring it back when they got their comics shipping again to actually conclude it. I would have just let it die a quiet death. But anyway, they brought it back, and then so we got a new creative team, and I was like, well, this is great. Finally, a new creative team. And Cantwell, it is a monkey's paw kind of wish where I'm concerned. But if you're enjoying that book, more power to you. Then the other big thing, the really big thing that Marvel is gearing up to for the summer is the story of Avengers, X-Men, and the Eternals in an event called Judgement Day. And this is going to be a massive, massive event, crossover, all the big titles, Avengers, X-Men, Eternals. One of those things is not quite like the other, but that's okay. Arguably, they're all a lot closer together than they used to be. At any rate, they've teased some posters for this new event. But the big question is, are fans going to respond to this sequel of sorts to Avengers X-Men and the next latest, biggest until the next one event in the Marvel Universe? Are people going to be up for this?
I never wanted it. I never asked for it.
Now, one of the things they're teasing in all this is they put up a couple of splash posters. One of them says Tony Stark speaking broadly on pro-hubris, but how on earth do you think we're going to make a god in a few hours? Probably with his penis, I'm guessing. And then there's another one there from Druig that says, for 1,000,000 years, Earth has been protected from the deviants, but we made a mistake. We missed some, the mutants. So apparently he's been checking out what's going on in Krakoa, and I mean, he's not wrong. So anyway, expect a big fight between all of those in March. Like a member of the Eternals is going to break into Avengers Mountain, which is a hollowed out corpse of the Celestials, which have some meaning to the Eternals. So this is going to anyway. Thanos is involved over there in that, and then they're doing a free comic book day, which is really going to push and promote this thing. But this is the event that Marvel's been building to for the summer. They're going to do some big things between the three of them. Again, how this plays into everything else, who knows? But you can expect a lot of issues. Take your bets now on what the entire event is going to cost, and we'll see how this event goes. We're also promised, from what I'm told, another X-Men event in the fall. We're getting sort of warned now with this Life and Death of Wolverine series, a 10-issue there. And then we get into this Avengers X-Men Eternals, and then we'll have another X-Men event in the fall. So why not, right? I mean, anyway, lots there. Not leaving Marvel for a second, Gwen Stacy begins the Gwenverse of Madness, which is, if you're going to have a movie, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, the best thing you could do to tie into that event is to do a Gwen Stacy and the Gwenverse of Madness, because that makes perfect sense to connect those dots, since Spider-Man and no Spider characters are appearing in that Doctor Strange movie, but that is fine. So she's having a multiversal adventure, which is going to feature Gwens of all throughout comic history, and Gwens have become Wolver Gwen, Iron Gwen, Thor Gwen, Captain Marvel Gwen, Knight Gwen, all Gwens all the time, including a Captain America Gwen. So we're going to see Gwen mashup fighting some kind of threat, which we don't know what of, but it's going to be a battle that only Gwen can take care of. So Gwenverse coming here as well in the summer. That's a different summer event there, but we can expect lots good. Here, my question is, all the different multiverse versions of Gwen, and she keeps a little headband in all of them. Like you would think, I don't know. I mean, and no Punisher Gwen. I mean, I don't know. She could be everything else, but there's no Punisher Gwen.
What comic books are you reading?
Yeah. So we've got that. Anyway, briefly over to DC. A couple things coming out there, and one thing not coming out. The Green Lantern Legacy, which has been Legacy. It wasn't their biggest OGN success, but it did do okay. They have delayed the sequel out till much later this year. But the other piece is that they're doing more with the Suicide Squad. So there is a mature reader's title, presumably through Black Label, called Suicide Squad Blaze, which will feature Simon Spurrier and Aaron Campbell. And they're doing a quote-unquote more horrific and black-hearted.
Or so the Germans would have us believe.
It is going to take Harley Quinn, Peacemaker, Captain Boomerang, King Shark, and they need to, basically mentor and, if necessary, execute 5 people who volunteered to become metahumans. And they have powers, but it's kind of a Strike Force Morituri thing. The power is going to kill them within 6 months at the latest. And that as one member gets killed, the powers flow into the other one. So these recruits here are going to get more and more crazy as time goes on. So the Suicide Squad's there to babysit them and presumably execute them. So interesting premise. Cy Spurrier has a good track record with some of this stuff. So we'll see how it all works out. But those are at least a little glimpse at the titles coming out here in the summer time frame. I think we'll learn more about the Justice League event. We'll look more about the I don't know, whatever. Let's see. Who doesn't have a crossover yet? I mean, they just did a couple of those, wrapping up those, Avengers, X-Men, Eternals in one. I suppose, the Punisher's got his hand thing going on during that time frame. Spider-Man's just been relaunched. Fantastic Four will have just ended Reckoning War by that point. I don't know, maybe something with Venom. I don't know, Hulk. The two of those got to get to something in the fall, right? Maybe both. Anyway, let me know what you're buying in the comments below of these bigger events. If anything catches your interest, and thanks for listening.
This is the bad place.